How you doing?
You
Yeah,
sure?
yeah, I'm chilling. How are you?
What's up, guys? My name is David Janzar,
I'm John Carter.
and we are O2 Productions. We are independent filmmakers currently working on our first feature-length film, The Pitch. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to check out some of our other videos down below.
hmm
And what are we doing today, Mr. Carter?
So today we are giving you guys our top three favorite movies of 2024. It is obviously a little bit late, but figured it'd be both of our New Year's resolutions. We give you this gift.
There you go.
Yeah,
And yeah, so just a fun thing to do. Give you guys an idea of what type of movies we enjoyed, and
yeah.
just a way to celebrate the year that we just had. We
Mhm.
watched a good amount of movies. I looked back through it. It was around like 25-ish. It wasn't like as far as new releases, by the way. These are only
Mm,
released in 2024. I don't know if we
yeah,
emphasized that, but I believe I watched around 25 of new releases in
yeah.
the past year. Watched a lot more than that of just movies in general.
I think I was a little bit less. I think I was around like 8, 10, something like that.
Okay.
You did more work
Yeah.
than me.
I watched a lot, and I'm trying to do a lot more this year too.
Mm.
So, yeah. Are we good to go without further ado? Further
Yeah, we can go through. Yeah,
Yeah. So we're just gonna do a top three each individually. So
yeah,
we'll just take it from the bottom of the list,
yeah.
three, all the way up to one. So,
You
want
can
me to
start
take it
off.
away?
Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely. So my number three movie is going to be If,
Mm.
and this is a film written and directed by John Krasinski, starring, I'm gonna forget her name now. Is it
It's like
something
Callie
Fleming?
Fleming.
Callie
Callie
Fleming. Thank
Fleming.
you.
Yeah.
Callie Fleming does a great job in this movie. She's a little girl who she's kind of had to grow up fast because she's had quite a bit of hardship in her life. I'll just say that. It's not a big spoiler or anything. It's right in the beginning. You learn about it. But
hmm
she has a lot of hardship in her life, and she's kind of had to grow up fast. But then she meets Ryan Reynolds, who's in a supporting role here. Not exact, still sort of doing the Ryan Reynolds thing, but I like he's a little more held back a little bit. So he does a good job of actually doing like a supporting role instead of being like
Mm.
the leading man we see him in a lot of other movies nowadays. But basically, she meets Ryan Reynolds, who knows all these imaginary friends who have been lost by people who have grown up. They've kind of lost that piece of their childhood where, they got to talk to an imaginary friend, somebody to comfort them or somebody to motivate them or somebody to protect them, anything like that. And it's just about trying to find new homes for these imaginary friends or to bring them back to the homes that they were once with, um, and kind of reconnecting people with kind of their innocence and also their comfort that they had in their childhood. So it was a good movie. I gave it an 8 out of 10, I believe.
hmm
So it was surprisingly good. I went into it with pretty low expectations. The trailers on it were seemed very childish, a
Yeah.
lot more childish than it actually is. There's some really mature themes in here that I thought were really good. Again, I thought Ryan Reynolds was good. Kaylee Fleming, Kaylee,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but she's great though. She's great in the lead. And yeah, it's a nice, good, and it's a good movie for the family too. So kids, I
Yeah.
think, could still enjoy it as well. So number
Nice.
three.
So my number three for 2024, I think I'm gonna go with the new Planet of the Apes movie. It
Good
stars
choice.
Freya Allen, and I don't remember the exact years it takes place after the last movie, but it's like way, way beyond. So it's interesting to see how I guess the apes evolve in a way. But it
Hmm.
was also just a well um like directed and produced movie. I thought it was like good action, good I guess drama in it too. And I think I would give that like an 8.5. Yeah.
Mm, it's a good pick.
Mm,
So my number two.
mm.
What was it?
I don't know. It's all you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maxine.
Aha.
This came out early summer 2024. This is the third movie in the X trilogy. It's a horror film. It follows the story of a character played by Mia Goth. Why can't I think of her name? Oh, Maxine.
Ah.
Um,
Yeah.
Played by Mia Goth, and basically she has become. In the beginning, the first movie is just titled X. It's about her kind of first getting into adult films, and then
Oh boy.
now she in Maxine, she's trying to become a more renowned actress as a whole, kind of moving away from the adult films and actually like Hollywood type stuff. Um, but it's about the horror and like the dark side of Hollywood back in like the 80s. I forget the name of the serial killer that is prevalent in this movie, but it's really good. They really capture the 80s really well, which is a time that I'm very nostalgic for as somebody who was born multiple decades after it happened.
Mm,
Um, don't ask why, but I like a lot of 80s movies and just the vibe of the 80s is really
right.
cool. But
Right.
this takes kind of a different route to it though. It's kind of nostalgic for old stuff like that, but it also looks again at that darker side stuff. And there's also a bit of a whodunit that's not done the greatest, but
Mm,
it's good enough for me that I still enjoyed it. You can kind of see where it's going as the story progresses, but the horror here is pretty good. The performances are really solid. I also really liked Kevin Bacon in a
cool.
supporting role here. He's kind of like the main antagonist henchman of sorts, if you will. But
Mm,
he's a pretty imposing presence, and he's also gives a good performance. A lot of good kills in here too, so that
oh,
was really fun. So
yeah.
definitely check out Maxine. Three X's in that, by the way.
Mm,
Triple X.
Triple X.
Yep, Maxine.
Xander Cage. Yeah, looks just like him.
Yeah.
So number two, right? We're
Number
going for
two.
number two. So I think I'm gonna go with Alien Romulus. So obviously Alien is a classic movie. They made a bunch of them way before. So I was and going into it, I was expecting like the usual Alien
Yeah.
story, which it kind of was. Cause like, what more can you do with like aliens except
Yeah.
the fact that they like ah, but but they found a way to make it different and intriguing, and it keeps you like interested in the film like the whole time you're watching it. Like they threw in like different bits of like stuff you didn't see coming, and the alien itself looked freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. The
yeah,
effects were really good in that movie.
mm,
It's got a good vibe to it too.
yeah,
And I feel like it still kind of captures the original Aliens
yeah.
vibe a little bit.
They did a lot of callbacks, which I
They
liked.
they
Yeah.
did. And while I think some people might see it as almost too similar, I
Mm,
thought it worked and I thought it still did enough of its own
it
thing
did, yeah.
that yeah, it was that was a good film. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that one as well.
I'd probably give that like a yeah, like a nine. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. I think I'm a little bit lower on it, but not a
Yeah.
lot. I think it was an 8 on that. It
Yeah.
was a good movie.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. So, that leaves us at our top spot, our films
The
of
top dog.
2024.
Top
Top
dog.
dog out of the ones we saw.
Yeah.
Again, we did not watch nearly enough movies to
Well,
get
you
a
know.
perfect representation.
Yeah.
I still missed a lot. I mean, a lot of, especially a lot of the highly praised ones I haven't seen yet.
Mm.
But my number one is actually something we've already talked about, and that's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I did not expect in the slightest out of myself.
Yeah.
I am completely unfamiliar with the franchise. Outside, I've seen the very original from the 70s or the 80s.
I actually didn't see those. Yeah.
Whenever it was, the very original I watched when I was younger.
Hmm.
And then we watched
Rise.
Rise. I was
Yeah.
gonna say Dawn. I confused them because
Yeah.
that just shows how unfamiliar I am. I
Yeah.
can't. It was Dawn. It was the first one with James Franco.
Rise.
Rise.
Yes. You said
What
that
we
right.
watched that together. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it. But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I went to watch with some friends,
Mm.
and I was expecting, cool effects, of course, because I've heard that about the movies. But I'm like, all right, these monkeys are gonna go fight each other, whatever.
Yeah.
But there really was just a pretty good heart to that movie.
Hmm.
Um, I agree with the performance by Freya Allen is really good.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and I believe it's Owen Teague here in the lead does good voice work here. I believe a lot of it's motion capture as well. So they do a
Was
lot
it?
of I
Oh,
believe so.
okay.
They do a lot of the physical acting as well.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The CGI in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is unbelievable.
Yep.
I mean, I believe it's just about entirely CGI. All the environments, all the
Mm.
sets, almost fully rendered in CG, I believe.
Mm.
Don't quote me on that, but I mean the apes look great.
Yep.
The
Scenery.
scenery,
Yeah.
thank you. Just
Atmosphere. Yeah.
atmosphere, effects, everything. All the effects are fantastic.
Yeah.
Basically, that's the point.
Yeah.
Story's really good. Maybe a tad lackluster at points, but I really also liked something I want to touch on. I don't want to talk too long on this because we already spoke about it. But another thing I really liked was the themes of it was sort of a metaphor for um how people took Caesar's word, because obviously this has gone way into the future, as you said.
Right.
Caesar's now long gone.
Mm.
And the way that different tribes or clans of apes, how they take Caesar's word, and some of them either skew it or they just take a different perspective on it. They may not skew it, but they just find things that fit whatever narrative they want, or they just take it in a way that just feeds into their beliefs or their values or just how they want to live their lives. And I think that's a really interesting thing, and it's a really good metaphor for religion, and they really drive it home well without it being too heavy-handed.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really interesting. Another thing that I almost missed, forgetting to mention,
Mm,
the villain's also really good in this too. Proximus Caesar. I'm
yeah.
forgetting the actor who voices him, but he has a ton of screen presence, even though he's technically not even on screen. He's a
Yeah.
monkey.
Uh-huh.
But his performance is also really good.
Mhm.
Didn't really like parts of the ending. I'm not gonna spoil it, but
Mm.
some parts of the ending were a little bit lacking for me. But overall, very good film. I give it a 9 out of 10. So wasn't able to see any films that I really put, really. I mean, nine's really good,
Nine's good.
but
Yeah.
9.5, 10. I haven't seen anything at that level yet from 2024, but I will be watching more. So maybe it will change soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Mhm.
John, what do you have at your number one film for 2024
Number
releases?
one. Number one. I think I'm gonna go with A Quiet Place Day One.
Wow.
I know.
Okay. Okay.
I'm throwing that out there.
I didn't expect that one.
I didn't either. Yeah, just so you're thinking about it, I was like, dang, I really like that movie. I don't know why, but well, the original also with directed also by John Krasinski,
Yep.
and also the second one too, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, just like blew me away. So I was like, okay, when this came out, I definitely had to see it. So this one was not directed by John Krasinski, but I think he did have a little part of it, like writing or whatever. But yeah. So obviously, it's about like the day one, and I just thought the story itself was unique in a way because they threw in. I'm not gonna tell you what it's about, but like they threw in like a unique storyline of, I guess, the adventure they have to go on to.
Mm.
Not really adventure because adventures are fun. Running away from those monsters isn't really a happy time. But yeah, I just thought that it was a great movie. Like the overall production, you really felt like you were also a part of it too.
Yeah, I'd
That
agree with
that
that.
that made it like cool.
Yeah. No, it was.
Yeah,
And something I want to say about the adventure, if you don't mind me
yeah. Go
stepping
ahead.
in. I didn't really think about this when I watched it because I'm not as high on this movie, but
Mm,
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good film. But about the adventure, it is an adventure, like you said, but
yeah,
also it really does hit the dramatic side of things
yeah.
too. A lot more than I expected going into it.
Hmm.
I was expecting a lot more of just like heavy action, which honestly was a bit of a negative for me to an extent because I want to see a little bit more of the day one carnage, just a little bit, not anything
Yeah,
crazy. But
yeah,
I was pleasantly surprised by the the level of heart and drama they really put
mm,
into
yeah.
just these two complete strangers who end up meeting up
Right.
in this apocalyptic scenario.
Yeah,
So that was really cool.
yeah,
And they sprinkle in some more stuff about the not a whole lot, but some it taught you a little more about these creatures and
yeah.
you know,
What they're about.
yeah,
Yeah.
things about them. So I thought that was cool as well.
Mhm.
Good performances in here.
Yeah. I'd probably give that like a 9.2. Not really.
9.2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
didn't want to say nine again. Just like I would have to pick and choose. So I'm giving it a 9.2.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So I believe that's all we have. Any honorable mentions? I
I
I'd like
mean,
to throw in Deadpool and Wolverine
yeah.
was just that's like a just a fun that was just a fun
Yeah.
movie.
You liked it more than I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a fun movie. That was a good one. I would also throw in this was just mostly a surprise for me, Twisters.
Mm.
Check out Twisters if you haven't. It was actually that was another one where it was like I went in expecting just kind of
Yeah.
basic, just goofy action blockbuster, whatever, which it mostly was. But the thing is, it was so self-aware of it, and there was still a little bit of drama, and there was more excitement to it than I thought I would have.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I didn't
they
see
really
that.
they
So.
they captured the Twisters themselves really well, actually.
Mm.
And yeah, that was another good one that I would just say as a little honorable mention, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I like
Anything
Red One.
else? Oh, Red One. Actually, that's a good one to mention
Yeah.
because that's one that's been getting a lot of hate.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of people have been hating on that movie.
I
I
like
haven't
it.
seen it.
Yeah.
I am a I'm a I well, I was a hater having not seen it because it doesn't look good. And there was the thing
Yeah.
about the whole budget situation with The Rock, and he showed up late to set.
Oh, I
I guess
didn't
a
hear
lot.
about that.
He was kind of a diva, I guess, on set, supposedly.
Yeah.
This is all alleged.
Yeah.
But there's the whole thing with that. So I kind of am was going into it as a hater, but because you're high on it, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm starting to rethink it now because I'm like, the thing is, I mean, you have good actors in this: Chris Evans,
Yeah.
The Rock,
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons,
Mhm.
The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock does The Rock. He
Yeah.
does it well.
Yes.
I'm not here to hate on The Rock. I don't like people who hate on like character actors too
No,
much.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
But I mean, especially J.K. Simmons.
Mm.
I love
Can't
that
go
guy.
wrong.
I
Yeah.
fantastic actor.
Yeah.
So seeing him as Santa, as like an action Santa,
Mm.
sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went in with like honestly kind of like almost the same as you with like low expectations because I thought it also kind of looked not that great. But after I went out of the theater, I was like, dang, that was actually like really good.
yeah,
And I would definitely go see it again and recommend it to anybody. So
nice.
yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I
Yeah.
really am because
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that you
Yeah.
actually like that because I've been hearing so much about like, oh, this movie sucks.
Yeah.
It's just like a waste of money, blah blah blah.
Mm.
But
And it's another Christmas movie you can watch too.
that's the thing,
So if you're
Christmas
tired
time.
of watching Elf every day, so you can
Yeah,
watch Red One.
yeah, it could be a new one to add to the list come the
Yeah.
holidays. So,
Hmm.
all right. So I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys subscribe down below if you want to learn more about our upcoming movie and you want to see it and you like what we do. Check out all of our stuff that we've released so far on the pitch. There'll be more coming out soon. We're still currently working on it at this point. And follow us on X,
Yep.
Twitter,
Twitter. Yeah.
Twitter. Follow us
You
there.
know what it is. Yeah.
And that's it for our socials.
Yeah.
And
Stay tuned.
oh, also, I'm gonna throw. Almost forgot to mention. So I'm gonna throw my letterbox also in the description. I have a
Yeah.
letterbox account. Um, I've been really active on it. I don't write full reviews. I did for the first few movies, and I was like, oh, this is too much. I got other stuff to worry
Yeah.
about. But I put a bunch of ratings of stuff I'm watching there. So if you're interested, if you like the list I just gave you, or if you just want to see what I watch, check it
Yeah.
out. Follow me, whatever, or don't. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm not like I don't really use it. I'll be honest. I don't really use it to like talk to other people. It's
Yeah.
more just a place to keep track for myself.
Mhm.
But if you guys hit me up on that, I'll follow you back. Whatever. See what you
Yeah.
guys are about, and you know we can have discussions about movies on there if you guys want. Whatever. So yeah, leave
Yeah.
your thoughts in the comments below. What were your top 3 favorite movies
Yeah.
of
Let
this
us know.
past
Let us know.
year? 2024 releases. Yeah, let us know what your favorites were, and
See you soon. Yeah.
see you guys.